Welcome to The Explainer. When a tragedy happens, you see communities come together to help. But what happens when the money they raise for victims maybe doesn't get to them? Today, we're diving into the Lewiston Fund in Maine, where millions of dollars meant for the families of a mass shooting are now smack in the middle of a political firestorm and growing calls for a federal investigation. And look, this isn't just some local story. It's part of a huge national conversation about fraud. Former President Donald Trump made this exact point recently about the country as a whole, but he specifically pointed a finger at Maine as a place where this is happening right now. And that brings us to the controversy we're going to break down today. So to really get what's happening here, we need to follow the money. We'll start with the terrible event that created the fund in the first place. Then we'll track the allegations of where that money actually went. We're going to put one nonprofit under a microscope, then look at the growing calls for an investigation, and finally, see how this whole thing has just exploded into a major political battle. To understand the anger and really the sense of betrayal at the heart of all these claims, we have to go back to what started it all, a day of just unimaginable horror for the community of Lewiston, Maine. It was October 2023. A gunman opened fire at a local bowling alley and then a bar. The attack left 19 people dead and 13 wounded. I mean, it became the deadliest mass shooting in Maine's entire history. So, in response, the Lewiston Strong Fund was created to help the people most affected. The whole point, the stated purpose, was to give direct financial support to the victims and their families, for things like medical bills and other immediate needs. But it's the distribution of that money that is now at the very center of this whole controversy. Okay, so a fund was created to help, but where did the money actually go? This is the core allegation, the thing that has sparked so much outrage and has drawn national attention. A huge chunk of the fund, we're talking nearly $2 million, reportedly never reached the victims or their families, despite what the community was led to believe. So instead, that $1.9 million was reportedly spread across 29 different nonprofit organizations. This raises a critical question. Was this money actually used for the victims, or did it just get absorbed into the operational budgets of these groups? And this gets to the heart of the complaint. It's pretty simple. This feels like a bait and switch. People donated money thinking they were directly helping grieving families and wounded survivors, but critics are now arguing that that money was instead used to prop up the budgets of various organizations, some with no direct connection to the victims at all. Now, to see just how serious these concerns really are, let's zoom in on one specific nonprofit that received a share of this money. Its history adds a whole new, kind of strange layer to this entire controversy. The organization is called Gateway Community Services, and it's not just under scrutiny for getting these shooting relief funds. It's also facing a host of other very serious allegations about its founder and its finances. The allegations against Gateway are, they're stunning. Reporting claims the organization was already under suspicion for misusing Medicaid funds and had even been visited by Homeland Security. But the story gets even weirder. The nonprofit's founder was at the same time running for president of Jubaland, a federal state in Somalia, and allegedly boasted to foreign media about raising funds for its army, all while operating on the side of the United States. So, with these really serious allegations surfacing, a growing number of people in Maine are now pushing for an official, independent investigation into the fund and the nonprofits involved. When a reporter, John Featherstone, started asking simple questions, where'd the money go, he claims he just had a wall. Instead of getting answers about the funds, he says he was accused of racism, which effectively shut down the conversation about financial transparency. This has now grown from questions into actual action. A victim's aunt, Amy Sussman, is leading the charge for accountability. a Republican candidate has launched an online petition, and their demand is crystal clear. They want the U.S. Department of Justice to step in and launch a full federal investigation. You know, this was never going to stay a local issue. It has now absolutely exploded onto the political stage, transforming a community search for answers into a full-blown partisan battle, both in Maine and beyond. And the political lines are pretty clearly drawn. On one side, you have critics accusing the current Democratic governor, Jeanette Mills, of dodging questions about the fund. And then at the same time, her Republican predecessor, Paula Page, reportedly offered to help investigate, an offer she allegedly rejected, which just deepens that political divide. And now, the controversy has reached the national stage. Former President Trump has weighed in, publicly backing a legal challenge and putting Governor Mills on notice, telling her he'll, quote, see you in court. And so we're left with this really painful contrast. You've got victims who are reportedly struggling to pay their medical bills, while millions in donations are just unaccounted for. As the calls for a federal investigation get louder and louder, the question isn't just about where the money went. It's about whether a community that has already suffered an immense tragedy will have its trust broken a second time. Like if transparency matters, subscribe for straight-up explainers, and drop a comment. Should this be fully investigated?